In this video, we're going to have a look at 5 things that will help you get your breath comfortably, make sure you're not turning too far, and be able to just get it in time with the rest of your stroke. Now, there's 5 things that often will make a difference with how well and how comfortably you can breathe in freestyle. The first one is head position. One of the things that I see quite a bit when I'm analysing our members' strokes is often their head is too deep. If your head is completely submerged, if it's all the way under the water, it's going to make it very difficult to get the breath to the side, because you've either got to lift the head up to get the breath, or you've got to turn the head too far. So what we want to try and do there instead is keep the top of your head just above the water. Now, with some swimmers, you'll see it as though the water actually stays just over the top of their head while their head is just above the surface line, the water's surface. But with most swimmers, particularly triathletes, we'll see that we want to have the head, the top part of it, just above the surface of the water, because then when you turn the head to the side to breathe, the mouth can come out of the water and you can go straight back, and there's no need to lift the head up above the water. So that is the first thing. Head position is important. So if you get that right, keep the crown of your head just above the water, that's often the easiest position to breathe from. Now, if you are looking slightly forwards, you're probably going to be in the right position there. Whereas if you're looking straight down or putting your head way too deep, then that's going to have the head a little bit too deep there. So we talk about looking anywhere from straight down to 45 degrees in front. Stick with that sort of range and you should be fine there. But usually you're aware of, is your head too deep or not? Now, the second thing is the timing of your breath. Often we find that the timing of when people are turning their head can be too late. Their head will lag off to the side, it will be out for too long. So often we'll see that people enter the water, they'll turn their head to the side, and the head's still out of the water by the time that this hand has already entered the water. And so then that just means that the timing of their breath is too late. So often the best way to get your breath, or the time when you should turn your head, is when this hand's entering, you're reaching and rotating your shoulders, and you want to go with that rotation of the upper body. So your head should turn with the rotation of your shoulders so that it's in time with that. Whereas if you enter, reach forward, and you're going forwards, and then you turn the head, the timing is going to be out. So make sure that you are turning your head along with the rotation of your shoulders while that lead arm is reaching forwards. The third thing is alignment. So when you turn your head, it's pretty common to see people actually turning their head way off to the side. What we want to aim for is to try and keep your head centered when you turn. So that means that if you imagine you've got a stick or a pole that runs through your spine, your head should stay within that pole or on that pole as you turn to breathe. If the whole head shifts off to the side, we'll often see that the rest of the body will go with it. We'll get quite a bit of a curve through the spine. Now, sometimes you will see this with elite swimmers. We did that analysis of Gregorio Paltrinieri, which you may have seen last week. We did that analysis and you can see with him, his head actually turns off to the side a little bit. But even though that happens, it's not something that we would recommend trying to do. Most people are going to be better off trying to keep their head dead center as they turn their head to breathe, as you can see here. So by maintaining that position, it will give you a much better profile through the water. It means that you're not going to come off to the side too much and have too much curvature through the rest of the body. So keep the head dead center when you breathe. One of the best drills that can help with this and a number of the other things that we're looking at here is this, when you swim normal freestyle, make sure you've got a cap on for this. Put a paddle, preferably a flat paddle without any straps on it. Put it in front of your head, so almost at the front part of your cap. And if you can keep that paddle on your head when you turn to breathe and when you come back, and you can continue to swim and keep that paddle on your head, that means that your head isn't turning off to the side. And it will also mean that your head isn't moving around too much when you are breathing. So this paddle head drill can be a really effective one to know whether or not your head's in the right position. And it's one of those self-correcting ones, because if it is coming off, then it's an indication that your head's probably moving around a bit too much. Now, it will probably take you a couple of goes to get this right. And you might find you can make 10 meters and then it will come off. It might make 20 meters. You'll progressively get better at it and be able to adjust your strokes so that you are able to breathe in a better position. But this is one of my favorite drills to do if the head is seen to be moving around too much. The fourth thing is breathing position. So when you turn your head to breathe, what we want to typically aim for, or what we want to be looking at, is to the side of the pool. We don't want to be looking up at the sky, because if you're looking up too high, it's going to cause your shoulders to rotate too far on the side, and it will often cause that lead arm to drop down. It makes it really hard to get an ideal catch. So when you turn your head to breathe, look straight to the side. Now, we've sometimes talked about split vision, where we want to keep one goggle in, one goggle out. That can be a good thing to aim for, but it doesn't matter if that bottom goggle comes out of the water a bit and you are turning your head a little bit further. Again, you do see this with some top swimmers, particularly sprinters, because they're swimming so fast, they need to turn their head a little bit further to make sure that they don't take water in. So it's okay to turn your head that little bit further and have just a little bit of lift through the head. That is okay, but we just don't want to go too far where we're looking way up to the sky and both goggles are clearly out of the water, because that's going to cause that over rotation through the shoulders, making it very hard to get a good catch. So the position that you breathe in is important as well. And in the right position, you can usually get the breath quite low if you reach around with your mouth as you're breathing, and your head will create this little bit of a bow wave where you can get that breath almost as though it's underneath the water. Now that's not crucial to getting an ideal breath, but it is a good indication that your head's in the right position. So if you've got the right head position when you're swimming, keeping the crown of the head out, it should create that bow wave where you can get the breath quite low in the water if that's something that you're looking to do. And the final thing is the exhale. We talk about this a lot, how you should ideally exhale through your nose. So a light trickle of air through your nose, and then as you're turning your head to breathe, big exhale through the nose, clear the lungs. So by the time your head's off to the side, you can get that breath where you've got empty lungs. It's kind of like, it's like a vacuum. Because you've got empty lungs, you can just breathe in very naturally, very comfortably. Whereas if you turn your head to the side and you haven't really fully exhaled, and you've still got, say, half a lung full of air, you're going to feel like you're topping up, and you'll get this buildup of carbon dioxide because you never get that proper exhalation. So make sure you've got a light trickle of air through the nose and then a bigger exhale as you're turning your head to the side. We've made a few videos on this. I'll link to one above, one of the most popular videos we've made on this that explains it really clearly, and you can check that out if you think that's an issue. What a lot of people tend to do is exhale too much from the mouth, and we find that that is a much more difficult way to breathe. So make sure that you are exhaling through the nose. The inhale comes from the mouth, but the exhale comes from the nose. So that is what I would be looking to do. So we've got those 5 things. We've got the head position, keep the crown of the head out. The timing, so turn your head along with the rotation of your shoulders. Number 3 is the alignment. So pretend you've got this pole running through your spine and that your head stays on that pole when you turn to breathe. It's not coming off to the side. The 4th thing is the breathing position. So make sure you're looking to the side when you turn to breathe, and that if your head's in the right position, you'll get this nice bow wave. The 5th thing is the exhale. Make sure you're exhaling through the nose. So light trickle of air and then a full exhale at the end. If you've found this video useful, we cover a lot more than this inside our Effortless Swimming membership. I'll put a link to that below. That's where we've got the 5 core principles training, where you can follow through that and basically correct your stroke step by step. So if you've ever found that you're not sure what you should work on, the 5 core principles will break it down really simply and give you a good structure, the right drills and how much to do of them inside that training there. And that's just one of the things that we've got inside the Effortless Swimming video membership. We've also got a whole bunch of workouts. So if you go to the pool and you just wing it, or you don't have a coach setting your workouts, then you might download, say, the 6-week return to the pool training plan that we've got there, or the monthly workouts that we've got posted inside as well. I'll put the link to that below. Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week with another video.